So Jason, thank you very much for taking the time to join us on the Gyms Group podcast. And we want to chat to you because you're doing really well in our Gyms Scratch and Dent removal division, which is a newer division, which was set up by Jason. And there's a couple of, it's a newer division, but the franchisees who are in it are doing really, really, really well. So
Yes.
we just wanted to talk about your story, about where you come from before, how you're going now, and how you're finding the gym system. So do you want to start off with what were you doing prior to Gym Scratch and Dent?
Okay. Funny enough, prior to Gym Scratch and Dent, I was working for a company called Schmick, and Jason Japp had started that probably 15 odd years ago himself. And he actually employed me about 7 years ago. So I was in the mobile business. I was a tech on the road for about 3 or 4 years. The last couple of years, I was their state manager, the New South Wales state manager at Schmick. So it's...
Yeah, and then what prompted the change for you?
I guess like I couldn't really go much further at Schmick. I mean, I was the state manager. There wasn't much sort of anywhere to go from there. I did have a lot of stress with looking after 30 technicians in New South Wales. So I just thought, you know what, it's time to look after myself. And here I am. And I tell you what, it's the best thing I've ever done.
And how did the opportunity present itself, Jason? Because there's a bit of Jim's history here for people who don't know. So Jason was actually a Jim's mowing franchisee ages ago.
Yeah.
And then he got his, started in business with us, and then he went off and did his own thing, which was Schmick. And now he's come back to us to do this. So how did you find out about the opportunity? And when you did a bit of research into it, what sounded good about it and made you jump at the chance?
Oh, look, the fact that Jason sort of contacted me to go, hey, this would be a good fit for you. You'd be a good fit for Gyms, knowing that how I'd worked at Schmick. And again, sort of did some research, but just knowing that Jim's brand and that Jim's name, that you'd have, no issues getting on board. And again, a lot of the jobs that I come through, that's what they say. The only reason they've rung was because of the name. They know Gyms, and anything that they do must be good. So happy days.
And how's the training process from you coming from a very, you probably trained people yourself in your role, and then coming to experience the Gyms training. So how was that experience for you?
It was, for me, it was a relief, like to see everyone up there, because that was normally me up on stage giving that to 30 guys. So it was good just to sit back and listen for a change.
It's not easy, is it?
No.
And how would you describe the training experience over 3 days? Did you take a bit away from it, or was there anything that sort of left you in your mind when going to do your business? Or
look, I guess just all the business side of it, like all the customer relations sort of stuff, and dealing with customers, calling customers, was something I'd done for a long time. And I'd never run my own business, so just all that sort of stuff I took a lot away from.
Yep. And with your first week back in your business, how did you find going from being responsible for a lot of other people then to being responsible solely for yourself in your business? So maybe you want to tell people about how was your first couple of weeks as a franchisee?
Okay, so I'm not going to lie. Before I actually come on board, I was very, very nervous. As I'm sure everyone would be when they take on a franchise and think, oh, have I done the right thing? Is it going to fail? Is it going to work? The first week, I was lucky enough that I got back here. I think it was on the Friday, had the weekend to take a lot of calls. So that week was pretty much booked out. Sort of hit the ground rolling pretty much. Didn't have any issues. Again, lucky I'd been doing it for a while, so I knew how to deal with it and how to book in customers and all of that. But I pretty much hit the ground rolling, lucky for me. And like I haven't looked back, it's been a very good time. And
revenue-wise, were you happy with what you were generating in the first couple of weeks?
Yes, definitely. So again, going off, Jason, when he was selling it and telling us what I was going to, could look at getting, and it was like, have to see it to believe it. Again, I'm very happy with what I'm making each week. Very happy. So yeah.
And how's that feeling of? Because I presume you would have known how much these shops and stuff made for other people, and you're sitting there doing a lot of the work, and you're not, you get paid this set fixed income. So how is that when you did it motivate you? Let's say it's a very obvious question, but did it motivate you more to go harder in your own business, or because you saw that reward for effort?
Oh, 100%. But it's one of those things. It's to go hard. You don't have to. It's just with, I don't know, with other like divisions, but with Scratch and Dent, it pretty much just works for itself, and you can just. It's a bit hard again coming into winter. It's a bit hard to be painting cars in the cold, but come summer to go hard. Yeah, I'm looking forward to summer and the longer days. So I will go hard then. But right now, I've just sort of relaxed a bit. But when I say relaxed, it's so much more easier than it was at like working for Schmick, and just like you said, taking a wage of X amount. I make that in a day now, pretty much. So it's great.
Fantastic. And do you have a family or anything like that with your lifestyle?
Yeah. Yep.
And how's that been with your family?
Oh, it's been unreal. Like, it's just the I suppose the weight off our shoulders. You know what I mean? Like, now we can sit back and go, oh, let's go out for dinner tonight, or let's get takeaway. Whereas before, a little bit more penny pinching. You know, like it's just been great. It's been a load off. The kids love it. You know, it's like they get out every Sunday. We wash the van together. You know, they get $5 for washing the van.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. It's great to hear. You can see in your face as well. You're very happy about that, which is fantastic. And I want to also ask about your customer service level. I had a look at before. It's really, really high. Like, it's an exceptional rating. So what's your difference in terms of your customer service level, maybe as opposed to other operations you know about?
Yeah, look, again, I'm lucky that I've done this for, the last 6 years of dealing with pretty much the same work, the same customers, the same everything that I deal with day to day. Nothing's really changed. So I've had a lot of practice there, I guess. And it's one of those things. Even when I was with Schmick and I hired someone new, I always told them that this job isn't a spray painting job, even though that's what we do, that's what we're trained for. It's a customer service job. And if you can't handle the customer service, then you're not going to go anywhere. Because at the end of the day, we're all tradesmen. We can all paint a car, and that's the easy part. The hard part is just having that communication with customers. And, you don't want to come across like an idiot. You got to come across professional. And I've made friends with customers, and I've been at their house and they've cooked me lunch and everything. It's been great.
That's fantastic. And let's talk about the service itself. So it's a newer service in the Gyms Group brand, but Scratch and Dent, maybe do you want to just tell people what exactly you can do for customers and what they can call you for?
Yeah, so Scratch and Dent, pretty much a mini panel shop on wheels, pretty much. Again, not too big in Australia yet, really big in Europe. But I think once it takes off, it's going to be like huge in Australia, so I can pretty much repair most things you take your car to a panel shop for. Just the difference is to come to you in your driveway, done in half a day, maybe a day, depending on the size of the job, but most jobs around half a day, and then you're driving the car after that. Whereas, you go to a panel shop, it's leave it for 3 to 5 days. So scratch on the bar, dents indoors. Again, I'm a spray painter panel beater by trade, so I go that little bit further, that if someone's got a cracked headlight or a tail light, I can get them a price and change that, as I know what I'm doing. But yeah, so it's endless, really.
That's fantastic. What's some of the feedback you're getting from customers? Because as you said, it is a newer sort of service, but for me, mate, it's a no-brainer. Like, you don't want to go to a panel shop, wait for a quote 3-4 weeks. And
that's it. So the big thing I get from a lot of customers is, wow, I didn't know gyms did this. It's great. And 2, this is unreal that they can be at home, which now, funny enough, after COVID, a lot of people work from home. So, they're in their office working. I'm out in the driveway, a couple of hours, done, great service. See you later, driving the car. Where, like I said, you go to a panel shop, it's got to get a quote, then you got to book it in, and then you leave the car for a week, and you're looking at either your excess, or if it's a private quote, nothing's under $1,000 these days in a panel shop.
Mm.
Most bar corners that we do is, I think we charge around the $350 mark. So no brainer.
And I think it's something where people do put that off because they don't want to have to go to the hassle of going there. So they might like their car, but they just go, I can't be bothered, and they have little scratches and dings everywhere, which they probably
No, can't be bothered. They just don't want to be without their car. Or they might get funny enough today, one of the cars I did was a hire car that his car was in the smash shop getting fixed, and he damaged the hire car. So I was a hire car, so he could take it back. So
There you go. In regards to what you know about independent operators, there would be a few around. So what's the sort of income like compared to them? And can you guys, because of the gym's brand, charge more because you provide a better service, or is it just, what's the sort of difference in that?
I think I have had a few people knock me back on the quote saying that I was a bit higher. I just sort of let them know that I know, like you said, there are a few around, and I do ask sometimes who the quote was from, so I know the companies or the names. That I know a few companies don't employ tradespeople, so I just always throw there the qualified painter of like 30 plus years, been mobile for the last 6. Quality is high in my standard. Maybe that's why the quote was a little bit higher, but I just wish them luck and always say, any issues after that, you have my number, please give me a call.
And have you been happy with the level of work you've been receiving?
Yes. So I started off with, I had my leads open, just send it. I was getting hammered, but it was great. So now I just have my leads set for 3 a day, and I have them between 3:30 and 9 every day. And I find that I get those 3, and then conversion rate's probably 2 out of 3 every day. And that fills my week. I'm about 2 to 3 weeks booked out. And those leads I just find just keep rolling into the week, and I just keep rolling on.
And you'll get that referral work coming through, obviously, because you just do such a good job. So
I referrals, and I do subby for a company very similar to Schmick that don't have enough technicians, and I knew someone there, so they send me work to do their work, which is quite silly of them, but
building the competition, why not?
Yeah.
And what's your average week like? How many I know each job must be different, but how many jobs roughly, or can you get to a week?
Roughly a week at the moment is around anywhere between 10 to 14 jobs, like a week. I look at sort of between 2 to 3 a day. On average, I'd say probably two jobs a day. If they're smaller, I'll always squeeze one in. But yeah, that's about it. So, and I do work Saturdays only because my wife works Saturdays, so it saves me sitting at home with the kids.
Fair enough. Out there earning money. So you can buy them better gifts at the end of the year. That's all. That's what it's for. In regards to, are you using Jim's Jobs or any software to manage your business? What software do you run?
Just Jim's Jobs only. I love it. I think it's great. I use every part of it that's great. And it's very similar to what, like Schmick had something similar. Again, so I've come in and went, oh, this is pretty simple for me to use. I love it. I put all my jobs in. If something happens and I don't get that job done that day, I take it out if I have to move it. So if I can go back 3 or 4 weeks and know exactly what I did that day. I do run a diary and write everything down as well, but Jim's Jobs, love it.
I was going to say, what do you think? Can you sign up for a customer? What is the Jim's difference when they use you over other people? I know it might sound very basic from what your perspective is, but maybe you want to outline for people, what is the Jim Scratch and Dent difference as opposed to other from a customer service point of view?
Oh, look, I guess service, because look at these places like Schmick and all these other guys that they're just employees, and I was one of them, and I know a lot of them, they don't really care. At the end of the day, they get paid. If it's a good job, if it's a bad job, they're still going to get paid. It's my name on every job I do with Jim's face on the van. So it's, I make sure they get the full service, and I guess that's what it is. It's what I do, and it's happy days. Everyone seems to be happy. Like I said, I got a good star rating, so it seems that everyone's happy.
No, you got a great star rating. Always says in uniform, prompt, good communication, all these sorts of things we always ask for.
Yeah.
You've got a really, really good star rating.
Yeah. Again, it's not hard. It's what I've done for a long time prior to this, but it's not hard. You just got to treat people like you want to be treated, and that's it. It all sort of works into place.
Absolutely. Now, with Scratch and Dent, who does it suit as a potential franchisee, maybe looking to build? Obviously, they want to build the business because there'll be unserviced work coming through because of the amount of good work you guys do. It's going to generate unserviced work, and there's not enough people. So, who would suit becoming a franchisee in this division?
Look, anyone that is in a shop, so you work in a panel shop, and there's a lot of panel shop politics, and you're in the same place day in, day out. It's always a dirty place, a panel shop. No matter how clean it is, you always end up dirty. It'll suit anyone that wants to get out of that and work for themselves and not have to work for someone else. I know anyone that's done the mobile business, I think that's the best thing for them, that they would benefit this by far. No point in trying to go to another company. You're still going to be, running around in circles, chasing your tail, having the shits with that boss and doing the same thing with that guy here. If I got the shits with my boss, And so,
And what support do you get from your franchisor? So I might point out to people, a franchisor is someone who owns the region and division and stuff, and their job is to support you with any questions or concerns and other things as well. So what's the support been like? I think from Jason, I would be supporting you. Yeah.
Jason's been great. If you ever have a problem, if I ever need anything or I'm not sure of something, and I'm just need to talk to him. Yep, he's always there, answers, helps. We have a meeting sort of once a month, like a Zoom meeting once a month, and we just all get online and have a chat and make sure everyone's going all right. And again, he set up a little talk that we can all talk to each other, and if there's anything new. So he's really good.
And because you said something interesting at the start, which I think is a very common thing. I talk to a lot of people with the podcast and stuff, and it's always that they're on a really good income or they're on a good income and they just don't think it's going to be true to what they think. And it's because it's hard. You're taking this consistent thing every week and you're into something new. So what advice would you give to someone about that transition or about that, let's say, first month journey, about what they're going to maybe shift from this into something new, like what you're doing? Yeah,
look, again, I can't talk for all the divisions, but talking for my division, our division, I think if you're worried about losing that, that steady $1,200 a day or $1,200 a week, which that's pretty much on par that they'd be taking home. In this, that's a pretty easy day, $1,200. So it's you only need one or two of those in your week, and then you can pull back on the work, and you're gonna double, triple what you would have been earning. At first, just like any job you change, it's always a bit stressful at the start and getting your head around everything. But once you do that, it's like I said, I wish I'd done this like years ago, like got out there by myself. But again, sorry, I don't know if this was a question or not, but I could not have done this by myself. I could not have bought a van and got a name and just started doing this myself. Where I'm at today, I've got in my client base over 300 customers. The money I'm making, the work I have, I could not have done that without being a Jim's franchisee.
That's fantastic to hear. You made my job easy saying that. But I was going to say, the fees. Everyone always asks about the fees. So it's not a percentage of revenue. So maybe, are you happy with the fee model, and do you think it's fair in comparison for what you receive?
Yes, I do. So a lot of people have go, oh, why'd you do that? Go do it yourself. You don't have to pay for that. And at the end of the day, pay the fees. That's all. I don't have to worry about any advertising. I don't have to worry about anything. It's all done. Jace does it all. Yeah. And then to pay the leads, at the end of the day, it's like, again, the amount of leads and the amount of work I've got, I could not have done that purely on my own. There is no way I could have been where I'm at right now in as little time. So months. There's no way. It probably would have taken me, I reckon, 12 months plus to be where I'm at now if I wasn't at Jim's. That's for sure. That's it. That's it. There's no way. Without having the backing of Jim's and the brand, I couldn't be where I am today.
Yeah, because it's not easy, and obviously in an industry like yours is very competitive in an online environment. So to generate actual online leads and stuff, website, Google ads and stuff, it's very, very expensive. And in comparison to what it would cost you in a year to actually, if you did that as an independent, it would be absolutely.
And well, Joel, like again, the other divisions like lawn mowing and that they get their regular customers and they come back. Unfortunately for us, if I'm seeing a guy regularly, he probably shouldn't be driving. You know what? Hang on 2 secs. Sorry.
You're right. All good. All good.
George, can you open the door for Mum, please? Sorry.
All good. No problem.
Yeah, like if I'm seeing a guy regularly, he shouldn't be driving. You know what I mean? So it's hard for us. We're a lot of one-off, maybe two-off. Might see a guy once every couple of years, whereas other divisions are, cleaners and lawnmowers, they've got their client base and they just can have a smaller client base and just see them all the time. Harder for us, like obviously, and it's always people shopping as well. Oh, how much? And I'm just getting another quote, I know they do that with everything, but cars seem to be one thing that they like to get several quotes for.
And do you think having the Gyms brand though helps you with conversion rate?
Oh yes, yeah. Like, and that's a no-brainer. Just like I said, I reckon one out of 5, maybe more than that. It's always because I rung gyms. Didn't know gym. I just looked up gyms. I needed my car. I thought I'll see gyms do it. I look at that. Didn't know. Bang. So, and that's the reason why they've rung, because it's gyms.
And how much room do you think there is to grow in Scratch and Dent? Because it is a newer one. There's obviously everyone's got a lot of cars, but how much room do you think this division can grow to?
Huge. Yep. It could. So in Europe, this is really, really big. The mobile guys. There's normally a guy on every corner. You can go down a street and you'll see 5 different guys repairing cars. It's huge. I think once people really get a feel for it over here and realize the service is there, I reckon Scratch and Dent for gyms will be one of their biggest.
Awesome. And what we'll do as well, Jason, before I let you go tonight, thanks for jumping on for this, is we're gonna present you with a core voucher, which is basically for you, because you've got a lot of really good customer service, and obviously the revenue you do is really, really impressive for a first-year franchisee. So we're gonna give you basically in the core voucher, which is worth up to $600, which is 2 free nights at any Accor hotel in Australia, and I think it's 50% off like restaurants and bars and drinks, just as a bit of a thank you and a congratulations on your success. So when I jump off this podcast, I'm going to email you through a link to complete that. But congratulations on your success again, and thank you for joining on the podcast.
No, thanks, Joel, and I hope it helps. And I hope
you
jump on board and jump on with gyms.
Awesome.